Welcome back, Helldivers. It is April 17th, and we're going to talk about the state of Helldivers 2 as it pertains to a couple different announcements that have come out, some balance changes, and some other things going on in the game and the world, and I thought it was pertinent that we discuss them. Let's talk about first the big news kind of buzzing around is Transmog. For those of you who don't know, Transmog is the ability to take like one piece of armor and make it look like a different piece of armor, but maintain the stats of the first piece of armor. This is very common in a lot of games now where people want their characters to look a certain way. So World of Warcraft is the first example that comes to mind, but tons and tons of games have like armor that you put over other armor to make it look one way but have the stats of another piece of armor. I am personally in support of that. As you can tell, my character here is not looking the best. I can't remember actually in this one if I'm wearing better armor or not. I literally changed the armor that I was wearing just so I could look decent, even though the stats are worse. And that's a problem, right? I'm making my character worse so I don't have to look terrible. I prefer the green armor that has the extra stims in it, because you got the fast speed, low armor, lots of extra stims, but it is absolutely hideous armor, right? So I don't prefer to wear it because of the looks, but the stats are too good to pass up. However, it does not match my favorite helmet, which is the one that I'm wearing here, and the cape that I'm wearing, which is why I'd be in support of Transmog. Now, the devs have come out and said that they do not support Transmog, and they do not plan to ever add it, specifically because they want you to be able to look at your allies and see what armor they're wearing, and be able to identify what perks they have to help you in the field. Now, I could almost believe that if it wasn't for the fact, one, I've played this game for like 150 hours, and I couldn't tell you what half the armor perks are or what it looks like, so that's super unhelpful. But also, like, I look hideous, but I don't really see myself that much because you only see the back of your character, right? You're covered by your cape and your helmet, which don't have stats on them. Right? So I don't see my allies. Like, I maybe see my allies in the distance on this match, but if I do see them, I'm going to see their cape and their helmet, and I'm not going to be able to identify what perks they have anyways. So I'm not a huge fan of that reasoning. I do hope and wish that they would reconsider, but at this point they have dug their heels in and said that they do not plan to reconsider. They do not plan to do Transmog. They do not plan to do any of this that the community wants. However, they have been really good about responding to community wants, so it's possible we may see something if we continue to ask for it nicely, continually. The other big thing that came out, if you don't follow Reddit or Discord, you probably wouldn't be aware of, but there was some discussion going on around people complaining that they're putting out war bonds and selling microtransactions while the game still has lots of bugs. And I admit the game does have a lot of bugs. I mean, I'm using the spear right now. As you're watching in the video, half the time the spear won't even lock on to the enemy that I'm trying to shoot. So there's still plenty of bugs, and people have been defending the devs, saying that, hey, like, the people who work on the bugs aren't the people who work on the guns, right? So they're two separate teams, so we can have both. We can have balance fixes, balance changes, and get new war bonds, and that doesn't cause a problem. And interestingly enough, the devs have come out and said that's actually false. They said that their team is small enough that it is indeed the same people. The people who work on the war bond are the same people who work on the bug fixes. Now, we did just get a big patch full of bug fixes. However, there's still plenty of bugs to squash in the game. And so getting that news has riled up a lot of people who are like, well, if they are the same people, why are they focused on making new guns that people don't even use when there's so many game-breaking bugs? And, you know, I'm kind of on their side. I understand that they need to make money. I definitely support them making money. I buy super credits to give them money because I want them to succeed and have more money and funds to do their things. However, not at the cost of the bugs, right? Like, I would rather take a month off from getting new stuff, especially since, like, the past two war bonds, I don't even use hardly anything from them. The base war bond is so good that they need to balance some of those weapons to make them better, which I do want them to get to, but again, it becomes those things like adding a new weapon and balancing is going to take away the ability to fix those bugs or the time that's dedicated to fixing those bugs, and that's a problem. So I understand why Reddit's upset being told that Yes, our team who works on the bugs is the same people who works on weapons, but they're more focused on making weapons right now. That is obviously an issue. I do hope that they reprioritize, and in fact, in their poll, they added a Monday poll to the game in the Discord. If you check out the Discord, you can vote in it. Last week, they were talking about designated marksman rifles being too weak, which I think everyone in the community agrees that they are too weak, but I got something else on that in a second. But their poll most recently was about the new war bond and asking, would you be willing to take a month off from having new stuff in order for us to really batten down the hatches and fix these bugs? And I think the overwhelming majority of people said yes. As for the designated marksman rifles, it's no secret that they are garbage. They shouldn't be used hardly in any scenario. Someone posted an interesting Reddit thread about it's not that they're underpowered, it's that nobody is using them correctly. And in it, they were talking about how they're meant to be perched up high and far away and sniping with them, and if you use them in that context, they are better. The problem with that is that the enemies just beeline towards you. It's the same problem with the exploding crossbow, right? The exploding crossbow was supposed to be a sneaky weapon that would allow you to take out chunks of enemies without being heard because it doesn't make a sound. The problem is that you shoot it once, and even if you don't make a sound, the enemies instantly turn around, look at you, and beeline to you, thus defeating the purpose of it. So it is with the DMRs, right? Like, they're underpowered. Yes, we might not be using them, right? But that's because you don't get a choice on how you use the gun. The second an enemy is alerted to you, they just come beelining towards you, and you don't get a chance to use it to the best degree. Now, sure, you could potentially like have 3 people running one area and then have a DMR in a different area sniping, but we all know that the primaries are underpowered as it is as a whole, right? They've said that's intentional. They don't want primaries to be good. They want you to rely on stratagems. So to do all that work just to use a primary that's not going to be all that useful or powerful anyways, seems like a lot of wasted effort. And when it comes to Helldives, you don't want to waste the effort. You'll see in this mission we've run into a few of those AT-AT things. I don't know their official name, but that's what everyone calls them because, you know, Star Wars. They did add a new mission type, and it does seem like they are bringing up the spawns. The specific mission says that they were originally prototypes, and now they are in full production, so we are going to run into them more. And these missions have been nuts with them. I've been having 2, 3, 4 of them spawn in, so make sure if you're hell diving on bot planets, you are bringing lots of anti-tank stuff because you are going to be running into a lot of tanks. I also think the spawn rates are up on these planets. I think the defense campaign has really gone like in full force, and they're trying to make this epic cinematic kind of feel that you're overwhelmed, that you're fighting this huge force that's millions and millions and millions, if not billions of bots big. So be prepared on those hell dives on those planets for a rough time. These are some rough matches. They are absolutely fun, but it does seem like there's new enemies, that there's even more bots, they're even more aggressive than normal. There's also unconfirmed, but I confirmed it myself, so unconfirmed by the community, but I'm pretty sure it's true. They made a silent change to the stalkers. Stalkers, the stalker nests from bug planets. Those guys will one-shot you now. Usually they hit you with your tongue, you go flying back, you stim, you can shrug it off, and then you go find their nest, hunt them down, destroy them. That does not appear to be the case anymore. I have multiple times gotten one-shot by those things, so it does appear that they have either silently buffed them or there's some sort of unknown glitch or bug going on where they are dealing more damage than they should. Now, I only say that because we had the rocket glitch ongoing for a while where you were taking more damage from rockets than we believe you should have. So is it a glitch? Potentially. Ironic that we were just talking about glitches and bugs and how many issues we've had with that, and here we are with potentially another glitch or bug. So that is the state of Helldivers 2 as of April 17th, 2024. We've got some bug fixes on the way. We've got a big debate going on about the war bonds. We have potential new glitches introduced into the game, and we have community polls. If you haven't joined the Discord, I highly encourage you to join their Discord so you can communicate in those polls. I have a feeling that they're going to use that information to really benefit us, and it's really awesome to see a game creator who cares enough to still engage on Reddit, to still engage through Discord, talk to us and say, hey, you like this? Okay, let's do more of this. You don't like this? Let's fix it. We'll see, though, if they listen to the community on these issues with the bug fixes and if they really do take 1 month off to allow us to fix bugs. As always, if you've made it this far, I appreciate you watching. Like, subscribe, all that. You know, I have to say it for algorithm and all that. Have a blessed day.